All right, I think we're going to start. So thank you everybody for joining this Zoom farewell for Cheryl. Cheryl, I'm going to just share screen a little bit and talk a little bit about Cheryl and the JWF. I think we have some, Federation folks who might not know that much about JWF. I can see we have a lot of board members who know a lot about JWF, but I wanted to just quickly share a little bit about Cheryl and the JWF. And what she's brought to us. So Cheryl's been with our Jewish Community Foundation for about 2 years, started in May 2019. And in that time, she's made just incredible changes, really elevated the Jewish Women's Foundation, which has been around about 10 years. She's elevated the organization of it, the professionalism, the outreach, membership, just about every aspect of the Jewish Women's Foundation. Cheryl, working with our wonderful leadership, or chairs and other lay leaders of the Jewish Women's Foundation, has really brought it to a new level. And we're so grateful to Cheryl for that. And really, she leaves, I'm just kind of giving the overview, she leaves a wonderful legacy and foundation for the next director and all the leadership to build from. So it's just a beautiful legacy. You're going to hear more about it. Just really quickly, a little bit about Jewish Women's Foundation. The mission, it's like a Jewish women's giving circle, right? It's a philanthropic organization within the Jewish Community Foundation dedicated to empowering women and girls through education, advocacy, and strategic grant making. They've done about 122 grants, over $1 million since its inception in 2006. Really spreading Tikkun Olam across our region of New Jersey to both secular and Jewish organizations. Really stepped up in COVID and did some extra wonderful grant making. It's one woman, one vote. They have all these wonderful meetings, and it's a really wonderful process that the Jewish Women's Foundation operates under. And we are out there in the community, helping, changing the lives of women and girls every day, and we're really proud of the Jewish Women's Foundation. Recently, done a great job under Cheryl's leadership with recruiting new members, really responding to COVID relief, as I said, and really leveraging many grants beyond the initial investment. Really dealing deeply with issues of racial disparities in maternal health, diversity, arts, and family separation, and has had a much bigger presence out there in the community. So we're super proud and grateful to Cheryl for helping to lead the way on that. A little bit about Cheryl. She grew up in Virginia. Those of you can hear it in her accent still. New Jersey hasn't completely taken over that accent. In a wonderful, loving family where she has said, learned a lot about caring for others. And those of you who have been following, Cheryl's life or so in the last year, she wrote a pivotal national piece in the Huffington Post about being a Black woman who most of her life was mistaken for white, and how she has experienced racism and throughout her life. And what's so remarkable about Cheryl is how much good she has done with that experience. Has taken it to develop amazing teaching in the corporate world, in the area of diversity, equity, inclusion, in the nonprofit world. And of course, now she's being scooped up. She's so good at it. She's being scooped up by the corporate world. But really just, it was almost like meant to be that Cheryl was with our Jewish community in this pivotal time in our American history, and really has brought so much to our Jewish community and our federation at this time. Really a lot of learning. I've learned a lot from Cheryl. I know many Federation employees have, and the community has. And so we're really grateful to Cheryl to bringing so much of that at this really, pivotal time in our community's history, in national history, in our community's history. So with that, I'm going to introduce a few more speakers. First, we'd like to get a few words from Susan President and Carol Marcus, who are the co-chairs of the Jewish Women's Foundation.
Thanks, Kim. First, we just dropped to 35, but for a second, I was going to acknowledge the fact that there were 36 people on this Zoom, and Cheryl now knows that Chai is 18 is life, and this was double Chai. Oh, we're back at the 36. So I think that's actually a wonderful kind of ominous thing. But I want to agree with all of the highlights that Kim brought up, but what has been terrific about Cheryl is just the thoughtfulness with which she's approached all of her work with us over the last couple of years, and her availability and her care and concern for not only our trustees, but for the organizations receiving our grants has been terrific. And I think not only did we as an organization hopefully step up during COVID, but she helped us navigate through sort of programming during COVID, which was a challenge, taking our boisterous and noisy and family-like meetings and putting them online and actually almost getting a better return. And I think sort of having this virtual availability is something that will live on as part of our future. But a terrific colleague, and who's really been such a terrific ambassador for us, and really just so grateful for the work you've done, Cheryl. Thank you. Carol?
So I would like to second everything that Susan said. I have been with the Jewish Women's Foundation since the beginning in 2006, I think formally 2007. And we've had several directors, and each director brought their special touch to the foundation, and was wonderful to work with. But Cheryl really had the whole package. She had a lot of experience in nonprofits. She knew how to organize us. She was a joy to work with. Susan and she and I had a lot of up till midnight texting back and forth. She really put her all into it, and that was really important to all of us, I know. And we made some wonderful grants. And then we were, who knew? We never had a pandemic before in our lifetimes. And Cheryl helped us be able to rise to that challenge. And we got so much done. We recruited so many members. We had wonderful programs. Actually, the site visits turned out to be it was a good way to do it. We are a boisterous group because everyone on the JWF are involved. They were involved in Federation, in other philanthropies. Everyone's a leader, and everyone wants their own say. And sometimes that's hard to wrangle, but it's also a joy to be part of a board like that. And Cheryl was so integral to making us function without losing our specialness. So we're gonna miss you, Cheryl, but we wish you so much good luck going forward. And I know that you will be a success in whatever you do, and hopefully make the world a little better place, which it needs.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you, Carol and Susan. And by the way, this is being recorded, Cheryl, for your family, so that you can share this afterwards, because they're wonderful words. And I'm going to call on Steve Levy, our president of our Jewish Community Foundation, to say a few words.
Thank you, Kim. And really just, I wanted to say thank you to Cheryl from the full JCF board. I want to thank you for leaving your imprint on this organization, both JWF, but the larger foundation and federation. From the moment you stepped in, you hit the ground running. There's an energy, there was an awareness of JWF that rose tremendously, not just because of the really incredible stuff that was done during COVID, but the general awareness. You brought a professionalism to JWF. And I think it was something that will live with us for a while. It's something that every single person on this call will take something and hold on to for a long time. And that's always a wonderful thing, to have a professional leave that behind. So we actually still have a piece of you. You're moving on, but we want to let you know not everything about you is moving on. We feel tethered to you, and we feel blessed to have had that opportunity. So from the full board of the Jewish Community Foundation of Greater Metro West, and whatever the rest of our title is, we want to say thank you for your time and best of luck on your new endeavors.
Thank you. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you so much.
And now I'm going to ask Linda Scherzer, Director of our CRC, our Community Relations Council, to say a few words. As I mentioned, Cheryl worked very, very closely with our Federation at this critical time, and Linda's going to talk a little bit about that.
Thank you, Kim. I wanted to start off by saying that I came to know Cheryl for all the wrong reasons, actually. It was shortly after May 25th of last year when George Floyd was murdered, killed at the hands of a police officer, when we all understood that something truly pivotal had happened in our country. And I remember the first huddle, our staff huddle after that event, when we all were sitting really not knowing how to process what we had just seen and how we as a country and a community and a Jewish Federation moves forward. And Cheryl, I don't even know if you were asked to speak, Cheryl, or if you just raised your hand. I think you did. But you identified yourself to us as somebody that we didn't really know, actually. We had all been meeting you in the hallways and you sat just outside of CRC, but we didn't know that you were a woman of color. And as you wrote so eloquently in a piece that you published not long after, not a lot of people knew. And you discovered things that most people of color don't know about the racism that exists in our society. And in the weeks that followed, you helped us as a federation through the CRC really begin our journey in understanding racism, what we need to do to understand the racism that exists, what we need to do to combat racism. You helped us with our lay committee, our anti-racism task force, come together and create educational webinars that I believe has had a tremendous impact on our community, hundreds of people who've joined. You've helped us internally as professionals with your expertise as a diversity, equity and inclusion facilitator, come to terms with some of our own internal biases or misunderstandings. And you've done that with probably what was the seminal educational event for CRC this past year, the 18-day challenge, where more than 150 people signed on to take a much deeper dive into these issues, to understand them on a level that most people don't even care to really take a look at. And you helped to facilitate the dialogue sessions afterwards. And there's one question that you posed to us that has stuck with me. You know, what is the one privilege that you would not want to give up as a white person? And I've thought about that a lot. I think you've given us all a lot of things to think about and to struggle with and to embrace. And I will miss you, because in your own gentle way, non-judgmental way, you've really helped to educate us as a community and as a federation. I'm deeply, deeply grateful for all you've done to bring us on this journey. I, like everyone else, wish you great success. The organization you're going to is a lucky one. We will miss you, but I'm here to tell you that you have brought so much to our federation and to the CRC, and I feel deeply privileged to have worked with you. Best of luck.
Thank you, Linda. That was beautiful. Thank you. And I agree with everything that you said, many folds. I'm going to ask Dove to.
I think I'm going to need some tissues. This is getting.
Yeah. Dove, good luck following that up, but I know, I trust you. Have a great way of following that up. Thank you.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Thank you, Kim. Unsurprisingly, I also want to say a few words of gratitude to Cheryl for all her work here. Being the professional of JWF is a really important position for our community, and she has tackled that responsibility with grace and professionalism and thoughtfulness. I've really appreciated our conversations where she has walked me through the foundation's priorities and ideas, hearing how she grapples with challenges and successes, and learning about how she approaches everyone with care and attention. But I also want to add to what Linda said. And I want you to know that I'm also deeply grateful to Cheryl, as I know that so many of us are, for her guidance and advice and her teaching this past year on racism, on racial sensitivity, on bias and awareness, and on being better. So many of us have felt lost this past year, looking for that guidance. And I'm deeply grateful for Cheryl, because we have so much more to learn. But having you show us some of the ways to move forward and try to be better has been incredibly important. And the conversations, the guidance, the collegiality have been critically important. So from all of us, we wish you every success in your next step. We know that wherever you go, they will be extremely fortunate to have you with them. And our loss is their gain. And we know you'll go on to great things. Thank you.
Thank you, Dov. Yeah, I will say, Cheryl, just listening to all this, it is the rare, I've been to a lot of these farewells, and it is the rare staff member who not only makes the program or agency or department better, but makes us all better human beings. And you have done that. And thank you for that. I thought Dov said that beautifully. So I just want to open it up to any other Federation or Jewish Women's Foundation folks who want to say a few words to Cheryl. You can unmute yourself, right? Heather, they can just unmute and speak up or raise your hand. It's hard for me to see everybody. Is there, let's just see. Is there anybody who wants to say a few words? Marcia?
I would like to,
Marcia, yeah. Oh,
Marcia, sorry.
yeah, it's okay. Well, I will really miss you, Cheryl. You have been such a calming influence, so well organized, so thoughtful and careful with everything. And it's just remarkable. You've done a remarkable job. And I will really miss you so much. You've kept us organized. You've kept us on a straight and narrow. We're trying to do the best we can through these hard times. And you've been a wonderful leader and an inspiration. So thank you and all the best in all your endeavors. And I certainly will miss you a lot.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Marcia.
Thank you.
Is there anybody else who would like to say something? I will tell you, our Jewish Community Foundation has sent Cheryl a nice gift to her home. I hope you like it. And also the Jewish Women's Foundation board has sent a beautiful gift of appreciation, just a small token of our appreciation. And if there's anybody else who would like to speak, Jane?
Row.
Yes.
I've already said that, and that we will, obviously, the Jewish Women's Foundation will miss Cheryl greatly, but I so appreciate, as other people have said, her professionalism, her knowledge, her willingness and ability to work with a wild and crazy group of smart women and appreciate their intelligence. But I also, listening to everything that was said before, I really appreciate the fact that Cheryl has been a perfect liaison to Jewish Federation for Jewish Women's Foundation. And, you know, we have struggled, as everybody knows, and I think that's priceless. I think that is the best gift she has given us all, is to be an advocate for Jewish Women's Foundation, but a partner with Jewish Federation. So I thank you for that. That is a wonderful gift.
Thank you, Jane. And a great foundation for the next director that we will, for the next terrific director that we will find. Okay, and
I just want to.
Howard, go ahead.
Even though I'm not on the agenda, I have to say something because. So Cheryl, first of all, I enjoyed working with you for not long enough, but more importantly, in the sessions that you had, and you did great things with the Jewish Women's Foundation, and others have alluded to that already. But more importantly, you taught me a few things. So, the sessions that we had, I hope that the third session is taped because I had a conflict with the meeting with the JCC. So I hope to be able to learn from that one as well. But you raised us up. So I thank you for that, collectively for the staff. We're better off for you having been here. So thank you. I wish you luck in your new job, and don't forget about us.
Thank you, Howard. We expect to read about you, Cheryl, and I don't know, the Wall Street Journal on corporate diversity, equity, inclusion. Like you're going to be quoted. I have no doubt.
Yes.
That energy out there.
Hi, I would just like to say, Cheryl, that I very much have enjoyed working closely with you, and that your quiet calmness and wisdom has brought so much to the Jewish Women's Foundation and also to the Jewish Federation as a whole. I will miss you, and I'm sure everyone else will too, and wish you the very best in your new endeavor.
Thanks, Ro. All right, and Nancy, and then I think we'll probably wrap it up. Go ahead, Nancy.
Just quickly, I love the words calm and wisdom when I think of Cheryl. And Kim, you mentioned we'll search for our next perfect director. I'm not sure you're going to find another Cheryl. Cheryl, you've been amazing. And I've been with the organization also since the beginning. And I've worked with a lot of directors. And you're at the top. You really are, as a human being and as a director. I admire you and I respect you. And I wish you all the best.
Thank you, Nancy. All right, and with that, Cheryl, would you like to say a few?
My heart is truly really filled. This is beautiful. I joked with Kim yesterday when I went in the office. I said I stayed at some companies 10 years and I think I got a lunch. I didn't get this much love, and it really just speaks to the wonderful family that both Federation and Jewish Women's Foundation is. And though I appreciate all the beautiful words today, I have learned and will take so much with me as well. You truly are a family, and people have joked about everyone is a leader with JWF and strong personalities, but I've loved every moment of it. The passion you have for giving back, the passion you have for just being with each other and networking and friendships, and just always wanting to raise the bar and learn and try to do the right thing has just been beautiful to watch. And I feel very, very fortunate to have been a part of both JWF and JCF in the larger federation. So I thank all of you for giving me the opportunity. I left Wyndham in 2019 and doing CSR and DE&I work and wanted to start my own business. And someone gave me the advice that when you start your own business, try to find an anchor client or part-time job. And I think the stars just really, aligned that this opportunity came up. The folks at Council of New Jersey Grantmakers mentioned JWF was looking for a director, and they knew that I was consulting, and they said, I think you would be perfect. And I think the advice was, I'm glad I took the advice and decided to put my name in the hat, and was offered the position because it's been a true joy. And I've been crying tears of both excitement for my new opportunity, but the mourning also, leaving all of you in my business. It won't look the way it looks right now, but I'll still do some speaking engagements and writing. So I'll keep that, but just not in its current form. But I have very mixed feelings because I've loved being at JWF. And so it was not an easy decision, but one that I feel it's right for me right now. We are in a pivotal moment, and Munich Re is a reinsurance company. The insurance industry has done some small things, but not as much as the industry, and really pushing social justice forward. So not only is it a great opportunity within the company itself, but I think in the industry as a whole. So I'm hoping that I can really help in that area. And the fact that I'll be doing CSR as well and continuing to make grants. And so who knows, I said our paths will cross again, and I'm not gonna forget you also. Maybe there's an opportunity for JWF and Munich Re to collaborate on a philanthropic effort. I definitely wanna stay in touch, and we'll make sure I provide my personal information, email and everything, so that I can, and we'll do lunch, or please, I would really like to stay in touch. And I thank all of you for today, and just for making me feel welcome over these last 2 years.
And she also learned some Yiddishkeit. She knows some words now.
I know. I do. Yeah. I know.
Once part of the Jewish community, Cheryl. Oh, wait. So
Yeah.
anyway, thank you. As we've all said, our loss is corporate America's gain, and we're excited, really excited for you for this new opportunity and the change that you could make in corporate America. Super, super exciting. We'll be watching you and absolutely keeping in touch. So thank you. And thank you everybody for joining today. And
thank you so much. And thanks for the lovely
Bye,
gifts
Cheryl.
that are here and on their way. Much, much appreciated.